Please, Uncle Ben, can you explain?
Hey, Potter. Fancy some deals?
Uncle Ben presents Harry Potter Order of Phoenix. Uncle Ben's got answers to his nephew's questions.
How come Moody came back? We thought he was Crouch Jr.
The Mad-Eye Moody you saw in Goblet of Fire was Bartimus Crouch Jr. He was using a lot of Polyjuice potion. He'd captured Mad-Eye Moody and kept him imprisoned in his own little luggage case, which has got like magic compartments. This one we see this time is the real Mad-Eye Moody. He's been released. He's probably suffered a little bit being in a box for a year, but he'd suffered a lot before that anyway. So he's ready for the fight.
How much time has passed since Cedric was killed?
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why.
Just a couple of months. Harry's gone home for the summer. He's went back to Privet Drive. He's living with the Dursleys. At the beginning, you saw Harry protecting Dudley from a Dementor. Remember the Dementors from the last one? Well, they're back again. They were attacking Dudley this time. Harry has to use to save the day. This gets him in trouble with the Ministry, and that's why the Order of the Phoenix come and pick him up and take him to the headquarters in London, which is where Sirius lives, his house.
Is Ron's mum a goodie? What's her story?
Harry. There you are. I got you a fresh batch of done deals. I love you more than Ron.
Molly Weasley's a goodie. She's always been a goodie. She always will be a goodie. She's the mother of 7 wizarding children, the Weasleys, some of which are quite troublesome. Fred and George in particular are a bit naughty. Ron repeatedly risks his life with Harry, the bad influence Harry Potter. But Molly holds her fort together. She's just a great mother. She's staying at home. She's looking after the family. So she's a good one. You could argue that as a mother of 7 wizarding children, Molly is the biggest hero in the whole series. But she isn't. It's Harry Potter. That's why it's called Harry Potter, not Molly Weasley.
Are they real twins?
The Weasleys are fictional. So they're fictional twins, Fred and George. The actors who play them, I believe, are real twins, but not called Weasley. Though I do believe they are natural gingers. At least I hope so. Otherwise, if real gingers don't get the Weasley parts, then there's a real problem. We shouldn't be having people die in their hair ginger. We should use the gingers available. And I think that's what they've done. I think we've got a pair of ginger twins, but not the real Weasleys.
What's Dad Malfoy's beef? Why does he not like Harry?
Wherever the undeals. You know, you really should learn to tell the difference between undeals and undeals.
Malfoy's dad was a Death Eater back in the day when Voldemort was first in power. He was a very senior one, a very trusted one. So his beef really is that Harry stopped the Dark Lord when he was a baby, so he doesn't like Harry. Harry cost him his way of life. Now he's pretending to get by in the real world with the other respectable wizards, but in reality he's a Death Eater at heart, as a lot of the bad ones are really. Bellatrix Lestrange is a bad one too.
Here comes Murphy.
How is Harry's dad a bully?
Yeah, why is Harry's dad a bully? And why did she like him if he was a bully?
James was a bit of a bully to Snape back in the day. We obviously see that in the flashbacks. Snape is remembering the worst moments when James was bullying him so bad, like lifting him up with his spells and showing his horrible stained underwear to everyone. And everyone's like, ooh, look at them stains, what an absolute undeal. But I think it's important to remember that this was high school. And yes, James and the other boys were a bit bullying to Snape, but I'm pretty sure Snape got his own bits in. He invented some very dark spells back in the day, although we don't know that just yet. So let's not pretend that Snape is an innocent victim picked on by James and the others. Yes, he has been bullied, and bullying is wrong, but James realised the error of his ways. He stopped bullying other people, and at that point Lily said, come along then, and we're off.
Is the lady neighbour a muggle? Or does she have some sort of secret?
She is what's known as a squib. So she was born into a magical family and should, in theory, have been a wizard, well, a witch in this case. But for some reason, she didn't get the magical gene. The same thing happens to Filch, the caretaker. He's a squib. So basically, she's a non-magical witch. So she may as well be a muggle, but she's not. She knows about the wizarding world. She just doesn't have the power. But she can watch Harry.
Why does the top ministry guy dislike Dumbledore so much, and Harry?
Cornelius Fudge is the Minister of Magic, so he's in charge of the ministry. He doesn't want to believe that Voldemort's back. At the end of the fourth one, Cedric Diggory was dead with Harry, but no one really knew what had happened. Dumbledore obviously believed Harry, and Harry knew it was true because he'd been there. We know it was true because we saw it happen in the film. But Cornelius Fudge doesn't want to believe it. That's what it boils down to. He doesn't want to believe that it's true, so he refuses to believe it's true, and he blames Dumbledore and Harry for creating these horrible rumours.
Was Harry's new girlfriend Cedric's old girlfriend?
Yeah, it's the same one. In the previous film, we saw Harry ask Cho Chang to the Yule Ball to dance and be partners, but unfortunately, Harry took too long. She'd already been asked by Cedric, who was another champion, and she'd said yes. It wasn't that she didn't want to go with Harry, but she did want to go with Cedric. Cedric's now dead. Harry's moved in there, making up for lost time.
Does Snape have history with Voldemort?
Don't say a word about Dendeely, Dendeel. I am not Dendeel. Then prove you're not a Dendeel. Control your emotions. Discipline your Dendeelies. Dendeel.
Snape used to be a Death Eater when he was younger. After he left Hogwarts, he joined Voldemort and became a Death Eater, so he was a rotten one. He actually turned cloak and joined Dumbledore for reasons which we will discover, but not just yet. A lot of people on the good side don't trust Snape. They think once a Death Eater, always a Death Eater. So there's a lot of suspicion of him on that side, because obviously he did have that association going back with Voldemort back in the presumably late 80s, early 90s. I'm not sure about the timetable actually, to be honest, but Daniel Radcliffe's about the same age as me, so I'd say 1989. He was a Death Eater, but he changed sides.
What's Hermione's family like?
Who are you and what have you done with all the Endeals?
They are dentists, is about all we know. You see a little bit of them in one of the movies coming up. Other than that, you don't know anything about them, apart from the fact that they're dentists. And I believe a little boy got bit, but you'll see that story in the next movie. But that's about as much as you get. So I wouldn't put too much effort or interest or energy into Hermione's family, because you're not going to find anything out.
Does Harry not go home anymore now? Does he not go to Surrey?
Harry does go home. We see him at home at the beginning with Dudley and the Dementors, but he's not there for very long. There's more of it in the books. You see a lot more of him at home, but in the films, there's too much to get to. So we skip past all of the stuff with the Dursleys, because who cares? They weren't nice before. They're not very nice now. They're a little bit more scared of Harry because he can do magic now. But ultimately, what's important is Harry getting back into that wizarding world. And that's what we see.
Does everyone live with the Weasleys? Why was everybody there at Christmas?
I hope there aren't any Endeals. Andy! 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 Andy!
Absolutely, Andy.
That's not actually the Weasleys' house. So the Weasleys are living with everyone, but the house belongs to Sirius Black. It was his ancestral home of the Black family. Some of the Blacks were Death Eaters, but Sirius turned to the light and joined Gryffindor when he was younger. He's always fighting for good, but the family itself leans more towards Slytherin. He has given the house to the Order of the Phoenix as a safe place, and that's where everyone meets. So they're not in the Weasleys, they're in his house.
What's Helena Bonham Carter up to?
Helena Bonham Carter is Bellatrix Lestrange. She is a senior figure in Voldemort's sort of army. She's a very nasty lady. She was one of the ones who helped Barty Crouch Jr. torture Neville's parents into the hospital where they are now. She worships Voldemort. She wants to follow him till the end. She's just there to be a bad one. if there's anyone in this who's just a bad one other than Voldemort, it's Bellatrix Lestrange. She is a bad one.
Does Snape fight?
Snape doesn't fight in this one, but he does tell the other members of the Order of the Phoenix to go and rescue Harry, basically, because when Umbridge calls him in to do the truth serum, and then Harry's like, oh no, they've got him, he has to pretend that he doesn't know what it means, but he does really. He lets everyone else know, and they go and try and fight him while Snape goes to check out the forest for Harry. Obviously Harry's not there, Harry is in London.
Why was Dumbledore ignoring Harry?
In the dream, would you say you were surrounded by unreals? Or were they undeals? Neither. I was the undeals. Professor, would you please just have a quick look at the undeals? I'd rather look at this painting. I hope it doesn't bugger off. Undeal. Sir, where are all the paintings going? You'll stay, won't you? I couldn't bear to look at all the undeals. So many undeals. Looking anywhere but the undeals. Look at the undeals. Where have all the unreals gone?
Dumbledore was ignoring Harry because there was a connection between Harry and Voldemort, so they could see between each other's minds. This is as a result of what happened at the end of the last book. Now that Voldemort's back, a lot of the dreams that we're seeing is Harry seeing images from Voldemort's mind. Dumbledore's worried that Voldemort will figure out and then see into Harry's mind. Ultimately, that is what happens. Voldemort sends a message into Harry's mind to show Sirius Black in London. He's not there. It's all a fib. It's magical fibbery. Magical fibbery, hidgery, pookery. And that's exactly what Dumbledore wanted to avoid. So perhaps he was right. But equally, perhaps he was wrong. Maybe if he had talked to Harry over the course of the year and explained what was happening a bit sooner, didn't leave it to Snape to peer into his mind, they were never going to get along. Were Harry and Snape going to get along? Not a chance, Dan Dealey.
You wish to show me the undeals?
You didn't ask a question about this one, but I think it's important that I answer it before you even ask it, because you don't know to ask it. I'm afraid to say someone dies. Harry is stuck in the Ministry of Magic. He's been lured into a trap and the Order of the Phoenix come to rescue him. Snape is the one who tells them to come and rescue Harry. Sirius Black is among those who comes along. He shouldn't really, because he's a known fugitive, but he comes anyway because it's Harry. So he comes along. All of the Death Eaters start fighting all of the Order of the Phoenix. It's all very dramatic. And then the following thing happens. Someone's gonna die, so I hope you don't take it too bad. I have added sound effects to make it better.
Get away from the undeals. Undeal. Now listen to me. I want you to take the undeals and get out of here. What? No, I'm staying with the undeals. You've done beautifully. Now let me take the undeals. Undeal. Undealy, undealy. Undeal, undeal, undealy, undeal, 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 undeal. Avada undealy. Well, this is a bit of an undeal.
I hope that was a bit easier for you to take. I remember reading the book and I was, if not very upset, quite upset about Sirius dying. I hadn't really seen a lot of him. You haven't either. He's gone now, unfortunately. Another one. Death follows Harry like a bad smell. So that's it. The cat's out of the bag now. The wizarding world know that Voldemort's back. At the end, he shows himself to save Bellatrix, and he has a bit of it. Well, he has a very good fight with Dumbledore, which you missed. You missed a lot. Do 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 do. And that's an absolute andeal.